This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. The Hammond Common Council on Monday approved a development agreement for a multibillion-dollar data center project on the city's lakefront. Chicago-based developer Decennial plans to build the 450,000 square foot facility at the Digital Crossroads Data Center campus, which it will lease to AI cloud-based computing firm CoreWeave for 20 years. Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott.
CoreWeave is requesting a 20-year, 100% technology deduction on their equipment at their current location and at their upcoming space. In return for these abatements, the City of Hammond will receive a community impact payment for the next 20 years of up to $4 million a year.
The exact investment number was not disclosed. Construction equipment manufacturer Caterpillar is planning a $60 million expansion of its logistics facility in Lebanon that could create nearly 700 jobs. The company told the Lebanon City Council on Monday that it plans to expand its existing 600,000 square foot facility in the Lebanon Business Park. Employees will pre-assemble engine parts that would be then shipped to Caterpillar's large engine center in Lafayette. The company said construction would begin this year, with new positions being filled over the next 2 to 3 years. A plan is moving forward for a district featuring townhouses and entertainment options around West Fork Whiskey Company's distillery in Westfield. The Westfield City Council on Monday approved the proposal to build a 73,000 square foot indoor and outdoor entertainment facility and 104 townhouses. Construction is expected to begin later this year, and the entertainment venue could open in late 2026. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
5 southern Indiana counties are using findings from the Indiana First Quality of Life Economic Impact Analysis to explore opportunities for essential services and quality of life amenities. The study assessed sectors for economic growth potential in the region, including healthcare services, basic necessities, professional services, entertainment and dining, and culture and recreation. Jill Carpenter is CEO of the Community Foundation Alliance in Evansville.
You want to be careful about spending money without having a really good understanding of what you can attract. I think what this study does is it gives them a roadmap of the types of organizations they need to attract, and then they can work with that entrepreneur to provide the infrastructure and the things that are needed for them to locate in their community.
The report, funded by the CFA and Harrison County Community Foundation, focuses on the Indiana First Ready region of Knox, Perry, Pike, Spencer, and Harrison counties. You can connect to the full study at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. The Braun administration has directed agencies to withhold 5% of their funds from specific budget line items, rather than allowing department heads to identify areas for reserves. The directive follows a grim revenue forecast earlier this year that projected the state would have $2 billion less to spend in the next 2-year budget, prompting lawmakers to institute 5% agency cuts largely across the board. A letter from Office of Budget and Management Director Chad Ranney this month says the amounts withheld are unlikely to be released, meaning that agencies might need to operate with essentially a 10% budget cut. Citing concerns over proper monitoring and reporting, environmental watchdog groups in Northwest Indiana are calling on the Environmental Protection Agency to cancel an air permit for Cleveland Cliffs Indiana Harbor facility. The permit was issued by the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, but groups including the Environmental Law and Policy Center say the permit fails to hold the Ohio-based steelmaker to standards set out in the Clean Air Act. Ellis Watson is an attorney with the ELPC.
The emissions limits set in the permit need to be clear enough for the facility to adhere to them, and they have to include whatever the applicable monitoring, reporting, and record-keeping requirements are for the facility to not only comply with the emissions limits, but to demonstrate that they're in compliance. And so what we're pretty much saying is that item didn't include these monitoring, reporting, and record-keeping requirements on specific parts of the permit.
EPA staff declined an interview request from Inside Indiana Business, but said they have received and are reviewing the petition. World food champion Colin Hilton is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.